It's amazing how you honestly can just vibe to the didgeridoo like that.
Yeah.
It's such a it's a vibe instrument. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to RetroTechComms, and also you darling thylacines. That's a thing I used to say in the original playthrough that we did. Welcome to RetroTechComms. I got with me my friends here, the boys. They're back in town. They never left town, but you know.
Back anyway.
Hey, it's Mon Red 1.
Cooper Clan 13 here.
And we are here with a special video. This is every single picture frame in the Tasmanian Tiger HD, and also the original version. Like, nothing changed between versions except optimization and all of that. This is a bit of a long video, and this is also going to be a post commentary because we would be here all day. Well, all day I say. Like a good 4 hours if we were just doing this like in person, live, one-to-one, and I don't have the hard drive space for that. I mean, I'm rocking some tech here, but I don't have that much memory space for it. So this is a post commentary. All the timestamps are down below in the description for if you want to skip to specific levels and specific picture frames. But yeah, post commentary. So I forgot I made that edit. That got me. Okay, so I like to. It's funny. Whenever I get the kaboomerangs, and I would just like to say I had to play through the entire game and get 100% of the items again, because every single playthrough there's always one picture frame that I accidentally collect when I don't mean to. And I always realize, well, shoot, whenever I do the picture frame video, I'm not going to be able to do it now because I collected one of them in this file. And you can't copy files over and all of that. One thing that I like to do when I get the kaboomerangs is I like to throw them at Julius. And when you do that, you accidentally break and collect one of the picture frames. So, oops.
Oh.
But hey, look at that. We're already done with Rainbow Cliffs and we're up to 2 up. So, a bit of advice for whenever you're going for picture frames. Use your infrarangs, because the infrarangs are the easiest way to find all the picture frames of the game, because obviously all the picture frame boxes are invisible. You're not going to be able to easily see them. And this is doubly so if you're playing the original version of the game, because that's only like 480p. And when the screen is fuzzy, it is infinitely harder to find these picture frame boxes. So it's easier when you're doing it in HD because you can see the picture frame boxes a little, but in the older version, use those infrarangs, please, because they ping out whenever you're close to them, and that is such a helpful tool. You have no idea.
Yeah. This
It's been a while since we've done this.
I managed to get all of these on my playthrough.
Did you
I remember when we were recording the original, I think right before we got to Rex Marks the Spot, we just I had gone and bought the game on Steam, and like I was enjoying it so much, I had beaten it by the time we got back together to record more.
Yeah, no, Top 1 is not a long game by any means.
Yeah,
it's really not.
No.
I find myself surprised because I'll sit down to play the Tasmanian Tiger, and then I'll just play through the entire game, and then I'll look over to the clock, and I'll realize, oh, it's only been 5 hours, huh?
Yep.
Well, that'd been like 4 hours.
Accidentally beaten the game. I've done that to Deadlocked a few times.
Yeah.
It definitely happened.
And I remember I played this game on my computer. I had just built it. I didn't have a graphics card yet. Luckily, this is...
Oh, you were using integrated graphics?
Yeah, luckily this is toy, so it ran pretty good. I had slowdown sometimes, but it actually ran at a solid 1080p 60.
Yeah.
On integrated graphics. So I was like...
That's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very pretty enhancement of the...
Like I said.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra foliage that they did in this remaster.
Like
there's a lot of extra foliage, and it's great.
With how far they went.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Steve Stamatiades went in and redid textures and all that kind of stuff. They put the entire kit and caboodle, I guess you could say, into making this game look better. This game, I will say, if you remember playing Tasmanian Tiger as a kid on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube, play the Steam version because it's way better than you remember it being.
Yeah.
It's miles better than you remember it being.
Quite a bit.
That's the crazy thing about these games from this generation. It's like, you know how when you were a kid, everything looks amazing?
Right.
Because it's in comparison to what you've seen before.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I was a little kid, I went to Islands of Adventure. I rode The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. And like, as a little kid, I was like, wow, I was actually swinging with Spider-Man and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I go back now that it's even in 4K and all that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a screen. It looks great. That's a screen. And then it's the same with these PS2, GameCube, Xbox games. They still look good, but you can tell that when you were a kid, it looked like
the best thing.
Amazing, yeah.
That being said, there are some graphical issues still in the game. Thank you for giving me that segue. For whatever reason, the water effects kind of mess with the invisible box. So if you're in Walk in the Park, please keep in mind that this is here. That's the only time you ever have to contend with a graphical glitch like that. But yeah, one thing I'm definitely doing with this video is every single time we go into a new level, they added skins to the game.
That's a nice quality.
It's so nice. And yeah, I'm showing off all of the skins because when we did the original playthrough of this, I say the original playthrough, this is still technically the exact same playthrough, same playlist and everything. We were playing in the early access, like beta version, I guess you could say, of this game. This is the official like 1.4 release, I think. I don't know the actual release version. Point is, we're past 1.0 because there's a whole bunch of extra content and all of that. And yeah, this game runs like a dream. And it looks fantastic too because again, they added so much extra foliage. Like all those trees up there, like on the top of that rock, those trees were not there originally. I
don't remember them being there.
No, there's a lot of extra foliage they did, and it looks it's great. It's great. It's great. That's the entirety of my commentary. It's great. I love Ty.
I was happy to see how, at least from optically looking from the outside, how successful this game was on Steam. Because when I looked at the reviews,
it's like all the Ty fans came out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
I was looking at like the reviews, like overwhelmingly positive. I'm like, okay, awesome. And the amount of reviews, I was like, oh, a lot of people got this game.
See, the thing is, I think people were just like low key craving those platformers that we used to love back in the day.
Yeah, and people talk smack about this game back in the day because it did admittedly have issues.
Right.
But it's great how people just seem to remember, like regardless of its issues, people remember still loving it.
Yes.
And by the way, this shot is completely unbroken and long because there are a lot of people, like I remember back in the day, I did not know that this area was a thing because again, I was working with the low resolution of 480p and all of that, so everything was fuzzy. I didn't know this area was back here for years. And yeah, this area is back here and I just wanted to show off. This is how you get this specific picture frame box because if you're down below and you try and get it, you're not getting it because you need to go up on this lip.
And the thing is, like with this game, specifically this remaster, they've done a lot of things that I wanted. Like when I played the original time on PS2, like a big one for me was the fact that they let you use the Doomerang post game.
Yeah, you get to keep the Doomerang, which is awesome.
That wasn't in the original PS2. GameCube.
And speaking of things that are in the original, you could still do this wall glitch.
Lovely.
And I love stuff like that. And I remember back in the Steam forums, it's widely known knowledge that wall does not work properly with its collision. And Chrome was aware that wall doesn't work properly. In the Steam forums, we said, don't fix it because we like being able to go outside the level. It really doesn't harm anything. And it looks like a wall that you would never think to rub Ty's body against. So Chrome, I guess, was just like, hey, that's less work we have to do, whatever.
I say it every time. This stage is so beautiful.
Oh, this is my favorite stage graphically, too. I love the nighttime. The lighting looks great on Ty, and it looks even better when you have the flamerangs on because just all of the light bouncing off of everything, it's great.
Nice. I can even tell they like redid the details of the opals as well.
Yeah. Like there are a lot of textures that Mr. Stamatiades went back through and touched up and redid, and yeah, the game looks great. And I was surprised to see that upon looking at the credits closer, a lot of the original team are still there. Like, I think his name's Andy Green, Lindsay Parmenter, Steve Stamatiades, George Stamatiades. A lot of them are still there. A lot of them are still working. George Stamatiades is a bit aloof though. Like, I like his work. Mr. Stamatiades, George, you've done fantastic work on this entire series. Yes. It's like I want to hear more of his music. I can't find anything on the guy online. Like, I find a LinkedIn profile which was last updated years ago. And it's like, he doesn't have a social media, I don't think. Like, I'd like to follow him on Twitter because, you know, I like his work and all that. I can't find anything on the guy.
He's just chilling.
Yeah. I suppose so. I can respect it because, like, honestly, social media can... It's like, if you can avoid it, it's probably a good idea to avoid it. Yeah. But, yeah... It's like, I wish I could just follow him and hear his inane thoughts, but... Ominous.
It's just the sonar. The sonar, it kind of sounds a bit eerie.
You know what? It really does sound eerie.
Yes.
I remember as a kid, I didn't know what the weird pinging noises were. I hated the Infarangs because of that, because I'd hear this random pinging, and I would get creeped out because I was thinking... What on earth? What is that? This is really creepy. And it wasn't until years later I figured out after reading online, oh, Infarangs allow you to see the invisible boxes that I didn't know existed. Well, technically I did know they existed because by pure happenstance on those boxes at shipwrecks, right on like the little deck area of that house at the beginning of the level, I randomly threw a boomerang there and I found the picture frame. But other than that, I didn't know what the function was, so they creeped me out. But I do love the aesthetic now, and if we want to talk about favorite boomerangs, the Infarang is one of my favorite boomerangs.
Like I said, Mega Rings, any game, no matter what, no matter any form, I love them.
Mega Rings are great, just bounce off of many different enemies.
Omega Rings and Tai 2, those were great. And
Versus.
That is such a cool edit.
Thank you. It took me 3 hours to edit that because I had to find assets that looked good. So I bet you're wondering, why am I showing this off? Well, I didn't want to show off that you do have the Doomerangs afterwards.
Right.
Like, after you beat the game, and this is how combat would be using them. It's cool. Yeah. It's not my personal taste to use the Doomerangs because they're cool, but they do have some limitations, and they're really gimmicky.
Yeah.
But I do like them.
That's the principle of the thing, that they let you use them post game.
And I also did show this fight because, for one, there are 4 picture frame boxes in. Oh God, what's his name?
In this arena.
Nettie,
that's it. In Nettie's arena, there are 4 picture frame boxes, so you're gonna have to deal with him. But it was also a happy accident because I randomly, without thinking, I chose to show off the Doomy Ranger skin for this level, and I didn't even think about the fact that I would have to fight Nettie. And when I chose Nettie, I decided to show off the Doomerangs, which the Doomy Ranger uses the Doomerangs. So that was a completely happy accident. Yeah, I did not plan for that, but I'm happy it happened.
Yeah, I can't praise
this
stage enough.
This level's fantastic. Yeah. I like that you see Dennis's house and all of that, and it's the most calming level, and I love the music. Yeah. I love the music.
But yeah, my favorite Rang is probably the last Rang or last chassis from Tai 3, because when you put the Earthstone on those things and just spam the square button.
An endless stream of explosions.
It's just a Michael Bay filter goes on the screen.
Another Michael Bay filter is, I say it all the time, the Mega Stones with the Earth Stones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Multiple explosions.
There's a great combination that you can do. It's my favorite combination is with the ring chassis. It is 3 Earth Stones, 2 Mega Stones, and 1 Warp Stone. Oh no, sorry. 3 Earth Stones, 1 Mega Stone, and 2 Warp Stones. That way you are invincible while you're running around. You can throw your boomerangs and they'll cause explosions, and they'll bounce on multiple enemies because of the mega stones.
Busted.
So it's like, it's busted. But honestly, if you're doing the hardcore mode, which by the way, the HD versions have hardcore modes, which lovingly delete your save file if you so happen to die.
Love it.
I am one of the proud people that can say I have platinumed, quote unquote, I have platinum gotten every achievement in every single Thai game on Steam and also on PlayStation.
Pretty gold achievements.
Yeah, my pretty gold achievements and all that. My theoretical platinums.
Worth it. The series is so worth it.
But where was I going with this? I completely forgot. Oh yeah, that's right. Thai 3. It's the hardest hardcore to do.
I believe.
And
yeah.
honestly, having warp stones is borderline. Actually, you know, I'm not even gonna say borderline. It is 100% required, because fighting the Queen King at the end with no protection at all that's the fastest way to get yourself killed and lose your entire game. So I recommend having the warp stones for that, because oh boy. But we can talk about that at a later time, because I had an experience trying to beat Thai 3's hardcore. The hardcore mode for Thai 1, easy as pie. I did it on my first try. Thai 2 took me a couple attempts. It took me 2 attempts. And I was successful on the second attempt because... Actually, no, that's not true. Because I live streamed my first ever attempt, RetroTechComms The Archives, if anyone's interested. I live streamed the first attempt, and I died at hour 7.
Ooh.
Oh.
To the Deadly Stone Beetle of Rito Karnuk, which by the way is an instant death scenario.
Ooh.
So then a couple years later, I attempted it again, and I failed at the Deadly Stone Beetle of Rito Karnuk because I forgot it was instant death.
Lovely.
So then I attempted it a third time, and I did it.
That's the thing with those permadeath modes. They're
Well, the Stone Beetle was really annoying because that's like the only time there's instant death scenarios at all in the game. But then Thai 3 showed up, and I lost the hardcore mode 4 times. And I played Thai 3 over the period of 2 days so many times that I had it down to a science. The first attempt took me I died at around 12 hours in. The second attempt, around 10 hours in. The third attempt, 7 hours in.
That sounds
the fourth attempt was the third attempt was actually to the Queen King.
Oh.
You got to the
So then, actually, you know what? I was wrong. There were 5 attempts because the fourth attempt I died in the Crab Mercible. Because there's one random explosive mine in the area in the Southern Rivers that inexplicably does like 7/8 of your health, and I died to it. And then on the 5th attempt, I had it down to a science. 4.5 or 5 hours. I 100%ed the entire game and beat the Queen King. And the final fight took me like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Because again, I recommend that you have warp stones on. Because you can't take damage. You still can't take damage if it gets off like a full combo off on you. But if you don't let him combo you, you're basically invincible, and it's just a war of attrition at that point.
Yeah.
So, oh man, the entire fight, like, I'm glad I didn't record it because I swear it would give people motion sickness. I spun around the arena, basically running around in circles for 25 minutes, occasionally smacking him and taking off just a tiny increment of his health.
Oh man, you did the classic MMO trope as they're charging up the attack, then run away before the attack lands.
No, there isn't even charging up attacks because I can't tell when I can damage him. The Queen King is such a weird fight. By the way, render distance of this game is beautiful. I just want to say.
I just realized.
What's up?
Are there no picture frames on the sawmill?
They're not on the sawmill, but in that area there are only a couple. Most of the picture frames for this level are going to be in the upper part of the level and around the lake areas. They're not really in the sawmill. There's only like 2 or 3, I think, in the sawmills.
Gosh.
Which is interesting, that they decided to skew the picture frames like that. there's some weird design around the picture frames in this game that were vastly improved in Tai 2 and Tai 3. Because it kind of makes me feel like picture frames were an afterthought. Because there are some levels in this game that will have 5 picture frames, or 7 picture frames, or 9 picture frames. And then there are some levels like this that have like 24 and 29 and 19. It's a weird skew. And then the bonus levels have like 135.
Those might as well be open.
That's where they just dumped the rest of them.
Yeah, so it makes me feel like they were an afterthought, but
They probably were.
I don't know. That's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, the picture frames being skewed weirdly doesn't really bother me all that much. I gotta say though, this level, the snow levels can take a long time because the invisible boxes are like white, like light blue, and the levels are white. Good luck finding them because they are hidden so
they blend in with the trees
devilishly well. That being said,
Lyre for hire.
Lyrebird.
Follow me and do as I say.
No. I love it.
You have no idea how long it took me to keyframe that hand. That cursed hand. It took me like an hour to do.
Oh man!
Because I had to go in frame by frame.
I say it's worth it.
Yeah. That being said, this is one of those levels. This is the level with 5 frames in it. Just 5. So I have to wonder, how early on was Lyre Pants on Fire in development? And when in the time frame of this game's development did it coincide with the picture frame concept being injected into the levels? Been an earlier stage. I feel like this was one of the earlier stages because again, there are only 5 picture frame boxes, and there are some levels that have like 19 and 24, and it was weird. It's weird to me.
This stage has always been weird to me. Maybe because you know, as a child, it's like follow me and do as I say. I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I'm doing. And I actually, me being the innocent gamer I was,
you fell for him every single time.
Oh man,
I was there. There is an interesting thing that you can go to. I think it's either like the gamer's resource or the cutting room floor. You can look at the individual voice lines, and Lenny was supposed to be way more malicious. like he was just like, yeah, it's that way, sucker. And he was supposed to like be intentionally lying, but I guess somewhere along the line they decided that's a little too mean, so let's just make him like a wacky sort of like compulsive liar sort of character.
This was before E10 existed. What if them doing that would have made the game get a T rating?
What? When was E10 a thing?
E10
I think it was like 2004 or 5.
Really? Yeah, like this definitely would have been E10 rating. You know, that's interesting. It did not occur to me that
E10
that
was
could be
like
a reason.
PlayStation 2 era.
That's why, for example, the Ratchet and Clank games, they were T, but now by today's standards, the PS2 games are all E10. Like the T rating was given out unjustly in a lot of cases.
Because there was nothing
in
between.
There was nothing in between.
Yeah, I suppose so. That's fascinating. That would not have occurred to me. I don't think Lenny saying sucker would have been like warranting of a T rating though. I think maybe they just had like a change of heart with the character and they're like, maybe don't make him mean.
Just make him like unintentional.
Because
quote, unintentional.
Ty, we're all like in our mid-20s, right. But Ty in his heart is this is a kid's game. It's supposed to be for kids. So it might hurt a kid's feeling if Lenny was like actively malicious.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that was their mindset. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not the developers. I'm not affiliated with Chrome, although I'd love to be.
ESRB.
I'm not affiliated with the ESRB either. So I don't know. But it's a fascinating thought.
That's like I said. I never was too crazy about this stage.
This stage, yeah.
Beyond the Black Stump kind of sucks. I won't say it sucks, but it's visually kind of boring.
It's because it's another snow level, and I don't know, snow levels just sort of turn people's brains off. I don't know why. Yeah. But I think Beyond the Black Stump kind of overstays its welcome low key. Like, I've played this game so many times that honestly, I don't bat an eye whenever it's like, oh, it's just Beyond the Black Stump. I'll be done with this in like 40 minutes.
Yeah, you're numb to it.
I'm numb to it, but yeah, I don't know.
To me, it's like it
does kind of overstay its welcome, I wager. Especially on your like your first playthrough because you don't know what you're doing.
Now that I think about it,
it's just white everywhere.
The last 3 stages are kind of the weakest in this game, probably. Because you have this one, you have Rex Marks the Spot. What's the other one?
Lyre.
Pants on Fire. Yeah, those are probably the weakest 3. Not to say they're bad. It's just, well, mainly this is my least favorite one. I think this is my least favorite stage in the game.
I will agree that they're definitely the weakest of the stages and featured in this game.
Right.
I personally don't think that Rex Marks the Spot is all that bad because if you know what you're again, the caveat, if you know what you're doing, it's not that bad. But if you don't know what you're doing, oh, your playtime's extended.
I feel bad because the thing is, I think it's that child, that like children, is like they get distracted. It's like, ooh, what's this over here?
Oh, absolutely.
That's exactly what happens.
That's what messes you up big time on Rex Marks the Spot.
Yeah, if you deviate from that path of opals and you find that you don't have an integer of 5 by the end of it, your playthrough's been extended by an hour and a half trying to find it.
And
I do like this skin right here, the ghost tiger. I had to use like the light blue whites, like ghostly skin for the snow level because it's thematic. I tried to pair the skins with thematicism. That being said, not everything was improved with the HD version of this game.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a fun edit to make. Yeah, you still have to wait so long to get up there. Oh, I want to talk about this area right here. This area had the biggest glow up of the entire game because originally this was just a dead open field with no foliage in it except for that inner circle. Except for like the inner circle where you do like the little gun game.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. Because there's like like all this foliage right here that was not in the original. It's just, this was all added stuff and the area just looks so much better because of it.
That's it. Little stuff like that can go a long way.
I remember on Steam when I saw that update, I was just like, yo, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So many beautiful enhancements have been done to this game. Like unfortunately, kind of undermined by the Switch's technology, but we're not gonna rib the Switch too much.
No.
The rib switch. The rib witch.
Is I mean, like I said earlier, I was able to run this on integrated graphics, 1080p. I don't think the Switch is really.
Well, that was also a PC.
Yeah, but integrated graphics are like.
Yeah.
Consoles are better than that.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like not to harp on. I mean, integrated graphics. Some are good, but like real talk, even the PS3's graphical power probably. Actually, I can say that exactly because when I had my laptop, it had integrated graphics, and it was doing a little bit better than the PS3. So never mind.
Oh, okay.
Yikes.
Yeah, I do remember with even like my old Vio, I did use extracurricular means to play Sonic 06, and I did have an alright time with it. As much of an alright time that you can have with Sonic 06.
I played it on the PS3. It was not an alright time.
Man, I gotta say, the boxes that are in the trees in the snow levels are the most devious ones.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it's right in front of
even
you.
when you're using the infrarings, like it'll be right in front of you.
Even when you see it, you still don't see it. It's that type of vibe.
That being said, we're playing this video is the PC version of the game. Throughout the entire playthrough, we played the PC version. There is a special filter, like a visual filter that they added to the infrarings on the Switch and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions that kind of sort of makes it easier to find the boxes in the snow levels. But that filter is completely missing in the PC version, and I don't know why. Because they decided to add the backer credits that were in like the console Kickstarter version. They added the backer credits into the PC version, but they didn't add some of the features. Oh, it's weird. It's weird. I'm weirded out by it.
Well, they didn't start with the console ports until after all 3 were on Steam, right?
Correct. Yeah.
They probably added that filter
Afterwards.
far later in the process.
Also, I added that red ring there specifically to show that there are some levels with the higher resolution that it's easier to see picture frame boxes without using the infra rings, because for whatever reason, like the invisibility effect leaves like a dark spot in the sky that you can easily see it, or more easily see it. Like see right there, you can see the dark
Yes, I do.
effect.
Yep.
Like I said, it's
That's purely a product of the higher resolution. On the lower resolution, like 480p on like the
Blends right
Generation 6 consoles, you're not seeing that.
I really do like the effects on the Opals, like how they retouch them. It's great.
Another thing, the boomerang ring right there, that wasn't in tie 1, that was in tie 2 and tie 3.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right.
We
cycle.
We in the Steam forums low-key bullied them to add that in.
You bullied them?
No, we didn't bully them.
Oh, man.
But we did heavily request it, and they decided to grace us with
I
that.
do remember because you used to have to cycle with the D-pad.
Yeah, you had to
Switch
cycle with the D-pad. You could still do that,
Yeah.
but you can have the ring select now. I gotta say, by the way, I decided in this video to add in the 2005 remix of Rex Marks the Spot
love
because George Stamatiadis
Oh,
decided to remix this in 2005, and it sounds fantastic.
I wonder what made him do that.
I don't know, like, remixes are fun. He probably felt like he could do better. Maybe he was just bored and decided to
I'm gonna do
crank
this
out a
one
remix.
song.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no telling what inspired
It's
it.
also fun. And when you're a musician, when you get new toys, like new samples, you just want to play around with them.
Yeah.
So he
honestly.
probably got this like marimba sort of thing. He's like, ooh, that could work with Rex Marks the Spot. I don't know. I'm not George Stamatiadis. I don't know what his mind is like. So
like
maybe
when-
that was what it was like. I don't know.
It's like when I made my intro in 1080p 60. I was like, I want to use this in a video now.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
encourages me to make more videos because I want to use the
Yeah.
intro.
The RetroTechComms logo is in 4K because I could do it.
Wow.
Because the entire thing's vector graphics, and they're infinitely
yeah.
scalable, so
Yep.
I just made it in 4K.
Eventually, I'm gonna do 4K. I just gotta get a new computer.
Now, I know Rex Marks the Spot just ended, but I want to point out that I think Rex Marks the Spot is the easiest for the picture frame boxes because the infra rings ping off whenever you're near them. And all you really need to do is run rings around the island, you'll find them all. It's really not that
The
bad.
easiest level for picture frames, but probably the most infamous for opals.
Yeah.
No, I would say like 2 Up and Lyre are the easiest because there's the least amount of them. That being said, look at that. Bonus levels.
Night
yeah.
stage. See, again, I did not know there was a night stage version of this level because I had the PS2 version, so I don't think this was in the PS2 version.
Yeah, the reason why Coop said again is because this is the second time we're attempting to record this because the first one failed inexplicably. Rest in peace, Sound Mixer. We love you. Unfortunately, just play taps, everyone. Pour one out for the boy. The mixer's gone. But thankfully, I have another one because I am a compulsive buyer, and I just had one. I had a spare mixer.
Cool.
But yeah, there are bonus levels with like 135 picture frames in each of them. And depending on your version of the game from the 6th generation of console, you got a completely different, you got different bonus levels. On the PlayStation 2 version, we had this level, the bonus level night version. And the GameCube, they had the day version. And then on the Xbox version, which this port is based off of, they just had both for whatever reason. And yeah, we now have both versions.
I am just so glad Chrome stuck around through all these years, man.
Oh yes, absolutely. I love Chrome Studios. I love
Mr.
Chrome Studios
Kroom.
so much. Chrome is the cream of the crop. I do love Chrome Studios. They are among one of my favorites, if not my favorite independent developer ever. And they have stiff competition, like Yacht Club Games made Shovel Knight and all of that. But I love Chrome Studios. I love their work. I love their work ethic. I love the stuff they've made. Like, even the stuff that is questionable, like that one Spyro game, I still like it.
They made a Spyro game?
Yeah, Spyro game, a Hero's Tale, I think it's called.
Oh.
Spyro Hero's Tale, I think it was. I don't remember for sure. But they did make a Spyro game, and, you know, it's fine. I still like it. And I especially love the Tasmanian Tiger series. Especially the enhanced remasters that are on Steam and coming to consoles.
In a sense,
this is a fine platform. This is fantastic. I
sense,
love this. I want more of this.
They immortalized it by putting it on Steam.
Oh yeah, Spyro: A New Beginning and Spyro: The Eternal Night.
Oh, they did A New Beginning? Okay, see.
Yeah.
And The Eternal Night.
Oh, then who did A Hero's Tale?
They may have been forgot the name of them, but yeah, Activision was doing a lot of stuff with Spyro.
Yeah. They all Chrome also did Forced Unleashed.
Did they?
Yeah, I see that. So yeah, apparently Chrome did a lot of PC games as well.
Yeah. So it's like
they did Disney's extremely goofy skateboard.
Yeah, they did.
I did not know that Chrome Studios made that game. Wow.
They did.
That's kind of like everybody knows what that game is because they remember it from their childhood. I did not know Chrome made it.
Yeah, man. Like, I have nothing but love for Chrome Studios. And of course, I especially love Mr. Stamatiotti's, both of them. Both,
Right.
like, I love their work that they've done. I love George's music. I love Steve's art style. I mean, I love Steve's art style so much that I was one of the proud backers that backed for a certain amount of money that put me in the credits of the game. So I, Jacob of Retrotech Russo, am forever immortalized in Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Yeah. And also Ty 2, because, yeah. That was another. They did the exact same tier of the same rewards. And I was like, okay, yeah.
I say it's worth it, man. Especially
Yeah.
for a game.
They did a lot of games.
A game series you love.
The game series I love, and not only did I get the final print that is autographed by Steve, but I also have the blank one before he digitally colored it, which he hand drawn.
Nice.
Yeah, and I could even see, you could even see on it if you look at it, like the mistake that he made where he decided to white out. He used a little bit of white out, and it's funny. But anyway, I have nothing but love for Tasmanian Tiger. I have nothing but love for the 6th generation
The
of
6th
consoles.
generation was so good.
I keep saying
Every console was worth owning.
so much creative
So many
freedom.
good games.
So many. That was like a weird, like, wild west of gaming.
Right.
Because, like, was the game good? Was the game bad? Was the licensed game okay or not? I don't know. You gotta play it to find out. And there were some weird games we got, like Zapper, One Wicked Cricket.
That game was very weird, actually.
Scalar.
Scalar was another
weird one. Tack and the Power of Juju, and Tack 2, The Staff of Dreams. That's weird.
Staff of Dreams was the better one, in my opinion.
And what's this Australian platformer? Ty. Oh, of course I had to miss one. Okay. I have nothing but love for the 6th gen.
So much creative
great.
freedom during that generation on across the board.
I gotta say though, like, I love the 6th generation of consoles. Got mad respect for the 6th generation of consoles. I'm glad I'd never have to use a DualShock 2 ever again.
DualShock 2.
Because
I
had to go back, and I actually, in this video, had to record a little bit of PlayStation 2 footage to show off a certain thing, and the analog sticks. My god, the analog sticks do not feel good. It might just be because my controller is super old.
No,
but
No, the PS2 controllers, they got the job done, but yeah, they were... Oh man, that was...
Technology has improved,
It's
especially
all-
in the realm of analog sticks.
Right.
And it's hard to go back.
I used to have no problem with the DualShock 1 through 3, but when the DualShock 4 came out, ever since I grabbed it, going back has been hard. Like,
Yeah.
Oh man,
It is very difficult.
Like, one of my favorite controllers is a controller right here. It's this 8-bit Do controller right here. It looks like a Super Nintendo controller. It's a fantastic controller.
Yeah.
I love this thing to bits. 8-bit Do SN30 Pro and SF30 Pro. Fantastic controllers. It's my favorite controller of all time. I love it. And it's mainly because of the aesthetics, but it's also because the controller just feels really good to use.
Yeah, that's probably me with the DualShock 4. Even though the DualSense is a great controller,
It's not as good as the 4.
I feel like 4 was such a big jump from the 3.
That's hard to top.
That it was hard to, like the grips on 4, the analog sticks still feel great. I use it for Steam and PC a lot. The DualSense is awesome though. Like I love the triggers and I love the it feels better for your hands. But yeah, the DualShock 4 was just, I'm used to it.
I can't even tell he redid the textures. Sorry to interrupt. He even redid the textures for the picture frame. Like,
yeah.
Well, the quality, I shouldn't say texture.
Well, I don't know what he improved and what he didn't. But all I know is that according to his Twitter and some updates that they did to Steam, he did a lot of painting work.
It looks so crisp. I say it was worth it.
Yeah, I think it was worth it. And it makes me so happy that Ty is back, and it makes me so happy that there are so many outspoken vocal fans of Ty the Tasmanian
That came
Tiger.
out of the woodwork, actually.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere and simultaneously everywhere. It's incredible. Because I remember this game got a lot of flack back in the day.
I do remember this.
Yeah.
Because the marketing was a bit weird for this game. They sort of touted it as like the 3D platformer mascot killer.
Yeah.
Like, because I had that one commercial where it was like Dragon, Bandicoot, and Hedgehog. And it was very obviously Crash, Sonic, and Spyro wrapped up in like full body bandages and hospital beds. And Ty just sort of casually walks by and scares them.
It says bed.
Bed. Weird. What's the most intimidating you could say? The most intimidating thing you could say right now, Ty? Bed. Okay, cool. That'll work.
There you go.
Yeah. This game really did get a lot of flack because the original versions did have some issues.
They definitely did.
The one thing that I learned that was really weird, going back to record a little bit of footage from the PlayStation 2 version. Down was up and up was down when controlling the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It was it wasn't even inverted side to side. It was inverted up and down, which felt so weird.
Yep, that's one thing I do not miss.
You couldn't change it because, of course, not.
That's one thing I don't miss from that generation. You had to just accept controls. That's one thing I don't miss at all from that generation. You had to accept controls with no way to change it.
Yeah, that's one thing I gotta say. The HD versions of all of the Ty games are so good. I honestly do not recommend going back to the original versions. You still can, and you'll have a perfectly fine time, but the improvements that they made are vast and numerous for the HD versions.
Experience.
Yep.
Yes.
For sure.
I can very comfortably call Ty the Tasmanian Tiger HD the definitive way to play this game.
And it helps that the original developers did this.
Yes,
Yeah.
of
That's
course.
how you know it was faithfully made in HD.
There were a lot of new people. There was a lot of new blood, but there was also a lot of old blood. Like, again, Andy
Nice
Green,
mix.
Lindsay Parmenter, Stephen George Stamatiades. Names I can't remember. I'm sorry. I don't have everyone at Chrome memorized. I'm sorry. But a lot of original people were still there.
I just remember after like Ty 3, I didn't really hear much from them, so I'm like, oh no, they're gone. Then I hear that they're doing a Ty remaster on Steam. I'm like, oh, I have to buy this.
Oh, I was elated. I was absolutely elated.
I have to support.
I forget how I found out. I think one of you guys shared it, and I was like, "Oh,
I think
cool!"
It was
I'll
probably
get
most
that.
likely Jake.
Oh, I probably screamed at the top of my lungs, and you heard it out in the distance, a couple miles away.
Most likely.
I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll buy it." I bought it, and yeah, it's. I ended up
is-
buying the second one and the third one, and Ty
Did you ever
4.
play the trilogy before?
I played Ty 2 and 3 before. I
that-
never played the first one on
wow.
PS2.
No, you didn't?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I've never even owned the first one on PS2. I've only had 2 and 3.
Well, I mean,
I played
like,
all three.
Ty 2 and Ty 3 are so good. Like, Ty 1 is great, but once you play Ty 2 and Ty 3, it's like they are vast evolutions
It
to the
deserves a
formula.
playthrough. It definitely deserves a playthrough.
Luckily for me, I played them on console, so when I was playing Ty on PC at 1080p, 60
It was
FPS,
such an upgrade.
I was like, okay, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell I was missing out on like layer features, but I was fine.
That's one thing I love about this series is Ty 1 is great, but it only goes up.
Yeah. The thing is, this game is
Until you
aged.
get to Ty 4, in which it goes down. But it's
Would you say it
understandable
goes
why it
sideways?
happened. What?
Would you say it goes sideways?
Yeah, because it's a 2D platformer. Haha, funny. But that's because it was an iOS game.
Or actually, Windows 8. Windows tablet. I guess that would be the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was actually on iOS. Not Ty 4.
Oh. Well,
I think it was...
they originally just called it Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. And then when they brought it to the Microsoft Store and Steam, they decided to call it Ty 4.
Yeah. Although there was the Boomerang Blast game for iOS.
And I say it went down with Ty 4. Don't get me wrong. Ty 4 is a fine game. It's got its quirks, but it's a fine game. But yeah, when you play Ty 2 and Ty 3, it's like, oh, really?
I think
you can't help but make the comparison. Again, I am one of the people that took the time to get every single achievement in every single Ty game. So, yeah. I needless to say, I have a lot of love for this series.
Rightfully so, because it's just one of those platformers that
it's fun.
It's very fun.
It's fun, yes, absolutely.
I think people wanted like this subconsciously. They probably wanted a game like this to come back.
I think the thing with Ty, why it got flack back then, that was a generation full of platformers.
Yeah.
Oh, there were so many platformers.
Ratchet
so it was
Clank,
just
Jack and
you're comparing nothing but platformers to each other. Like, yeah, this game was gonna get chewed up a little bit.
Right.
And besides, now we're in the era of, like, all the people who are playing Ty are, like, new fans playing the much improved versions of the game,
right,
and also old fans who loved the game regardless. Or loved the series regardless, so, yeah.
Yeah. It's always happened. Each gen has a
But with that,
over-dominant...
look at that.
Oh, man,
Every
100%.
single picture frame.
So pretty.
But yeah, each gen has an over-dominant...
That was a nice transition.
...genre.
Thanks. So, I bet you're wondering, what does collecting every single picture frame get you? Well, if you collect at least 250 of them, you get 250 pieces of concept art, which, I love this. I always love whenever devs add developmental stuff in with the game as bonus features, because I love seeing this kind of stuff. I love seeing concept art, and when it's just bundled into the menu like this, it's great.
Okay, now that I think about it, that concept art, like Wrath of Shazza, that was the what's the word I'm looking for? That was supposed to be how Shazza originally looked.
Yeah,
cause I didn't know who. I always wondered, like, I'm like, who is that?
Yeah. We'll get to the beta footage, because after this, I'm gonna show off some of the bonus, like, movie content that is bundled in with the game that showed some, like, early builds and developmental stuff.
Right.
Yeah, again, I love seeing concept art, because you can just see, the creative process in, like, a horizontal, like, in, like, a vertical slice fashion. You can just see, like, where all these concepts were sort of birthed and sort of culminated together. Like, why things look the way they do.
Took your time, mate. Now listen to this.
There is a lot of stuff here. Yeah, one of the things that I got for backing the Ty 1 Kickstarter to bring the Ty games to consoles, I have a physical book of the concept art.
Very nice.
And I hope one day to have Mr. Stamatiades autograph it.
A few, like, 2 months ago, I bought the official art of Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, nice.
And, like, of course, you know me, I went right to the Deadlock section. But, the whole book, it's great. I love those art books.
I love art books in general.
Yeah,
Hey,
art books in general.
Look at this, though. They were teasing it all the way back then, though. Ty 2 and Ty 2. What is this boomerang?
Proto-Ring, that's what it's called.
Apocalypse Ring.
You see the stats under it?
Oh, no, I didn't. Proto-Rang.
Proto-Ring.
Huh, fascinating. But anyway, let's move on to the extra bundled in movies. Which, I gotta say, I love whenever this kind of stuff is added to games, because it's fun, and you get to see, like, early concept stuff. Like, look at all this early polygonal work. And also, this is the devs having fun. Oh, I love this one.
My favorite one right here.
He just misses. Like, we witnessed a death today, lads.
I think
And also this.
What'll I do to you?
Walks away.
He just walks away. He laughs and walks away. How rude. And then, of course, the OG logo.
I love it. And I love how that, I'm telling you, this. I love how it's a collectible in the second game. Chromium orbs.
Yeah, chromium orbs.
It's so cool.
It's really cool. It's one of my favorite logo screens ever, honestly. Yeah. But this is the footage that I was talking about. This is, as you can see right there, December 2000, first playable prototype.
21 years ago.
Look at this. Sheesh. Back when his animation was very much beta, he doesn't have the texture underneath his feet, and you just sort of spawn boomerangs.
Multi-rings.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's totally the multi-ring. I guess maybe the devs thought it was like super fun to throw a bunch of boomerangs out that they made the multi-ring.
Cool way.
Yeah.
That running animation is so
I just like that in the first playable demo, these wooden bridges remained largely unchanged.
Yes.
Like you can see those bridges in 2-Up and they're pretty much the same.
What is that enemy over there?
I don't know actually. I actually don't know. I've never taken the time to slow down and look at that. I don't know. I'll insert a frame and we'll see when the video comes out.
Do some CSI work. Zoom in.
Yeah, enhance. Hey, look, there's that purple crab that shows up one time in 2-Up.
I was always wondering, like, does this thing ever show up again? Nope.
Yeah, well, it shows up only the one time in 2-Up.
That's it.
And I have to wonder, like, what is this level? I love seeing stuff like this, like developmental rooms and like test rooms and all of that. It's super interesting. Like, test environments.
Disrespect.
This is when they added in the gliding, and you can see right there, up there in the corner, Ty's health is a pie. Hence why you collect slices of pie to regain your health.
A meat pie?
Meat pie. Well, meat pies are very popular in Australia, but I think this is supposed to be like a fruit pie. I don't know. You'd have to ask Mr. Stamatiades. Yeah, look at this. Like, the running animation's better. They added the opals, and by the way, the opals are purple in this build.
That's very cool, actually. Honestly, like, I wish they would have kept some of this stuff. I understand, it was creative process.
I see the animation was very different on the opals.
Yeah. Also, the frame rate's looking a bit dubious, but, that's to be expected in a dev room.
Yep.
Like, this was 2001, so there was a lot of development still to go. I do find it fascinating. Like, the collection sound is different, too.
Yeah.
But the purple opals never saw the light of day ever again. And they decided to make them red, blue, and green. And they were supposed to be yellow, but they cut out an entire fourth area of the game.
They probably wanted to stick with primary colors.
Prototype Shaza.
And hey, look at that. Yeah, Prototype Shaza. This is her original design. She was supposed to be more like a Tana, sort of like Tana Bandicoot from Crash 1 sort of character. But they decided to change it up.
Which I'm kind of glad they did.
I much prefer her updated design, yeah. Like, her beta design is fine, but man, do I prefer the 1.0 version. But this right here, this is the pitch trailer. So whenever, and by the way, blue frill back there. We never see like blue, like different colors of frills. We only see like the red stripes on them. So that's fascinating.
Because blue mean good, red mean bad.
But yeah, when they were trying to, when Chrome was trying to find a publisher to create physical versions of the game to sell, they had to create a pitch trailer, and this was one of the pitch trailers.
That is so
cool. The ones who took them up was EA, the Seattle district of EA.
Wow.
So, good job, EA. You weren't entirely a jerk.
Back then. Oh, how the times.
Well, back then they weren't that bad.
How the times have changed.
Yeah, back then it wasn't public, just how rude they were, but that's a conversation for another time. This video is super fascinating because this is an advanced build of the game.
I feel like this is probably 2-Up. I see a bit of 2-Up in here.
Do you see a bit of 2-Up? I don't see it because it's so wide open.
Like white right there, maybe?
It's like I see 2-Up and Bridge on the River type mashed together.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
I think that was supposed to be Nettie.
Ah.
But there's a lot of stuff in here that this is an entire level design that's just gone. We never see this again. I wonder how much of the data is still in the files. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Hey, look at that, the driving. Like, we didn't see the driving until Tai 2. Like, that was, the driving in Tai 2 was supposed to be a concept in this game. And if you slow down and look at the footage, there's a lot of concept here that you see that was built that never made it to the final game. Like, coming up, there are some spikes that look like some knives that cut at an angle from the ground. And it's just interesting. There's a prototype Doomerang. There are those spikes I was talking about. Yeah. I wonder how much cutting room floor content there is. It's fascinating.
A lot of that's probably still in the game, just not animated or a physical object. Like, it's just the texture and that's it.
I'm sure it's somewhere in the source files. But here we are. This is closer to the final build of the game. This is the E3 trailer. You can see the opals, they're red. Mm-hmm. The lily pads, for some reason, have like a depress animation into the water. That's not in the final version of the game. What was I going to say? Man, look at this footage. And they love the Dutch angle for whatever reason. I just love seeing stuff like this. One of my favorite features that are featured in movies is when they include the original trailers. Like theatrical trailers and all that. I just find it fascinating.
I remember the SpongeBob movie game had a lot of extra content.
Yeah. Like, what was that?
That was interesting.
And look at that. Shadow the Bat. Like, she was supposed to be, like, the boss of the 4th area. And she's still in the game, but not in nearly the same capacity as she originally was. And also that beetle falling off of the log at Walk in the Park, that's never in the final game.
That giant beetle?
Yeah. The giant beetle is, but that animation of it falling off of the log, it's not there. But that being said, there's one extra bit of content that I had to go back to the PlayStation 2 in order to get. Because for all the content that is in the game, there's one bit of content that is missing. And that is specifically the making of video.
Yes.
This is my favorite video of all of them.
I used to watch this a lot.
Because, again, especially, I love behind the scenes stuff. And this is exactly what it is. This is a behind the scenes reel at Chrome Studios. And I just love it because it's a time capsule. You can see Chrome as they were when they were like just created as a company. You can see all the young people. Look at them. Look at how young they are working on Tai.
Oh man.
Look at the young Steve Stamatiadis right there.
Wow.
I love this. Him working on Julius.
He has a very, like, cool
digitally coloring. Look at all these CRT monitors with the flickering because they were recording the screens with the camera.
Yes.
It's great. Ah, man. And that Betamax video quality. You remember Betamax?
Yes.
I wonder how many of our audience remember Betamax.
For you youngins out there that don't know what Betamax is, it was the predecessor to the VHS.
I have to question though. Do they know what VHS is?
Probably not.
Do you know what Laserdisc is?
DVD is probably earliest.
Laserdiscs are cool, man.
They're also giant.
Yeah, they're huge, but they're cool.
Sheila.
Yeah. Look at all these people working in an open concept office with all these CRT monitors.
No, let's go
making textures with Photoshop.
Pizza.
Ordering pizzas.
Let's go super obscure. Who remembers HD DVD?
Yes, I remember that. They tried to do HD DVD, but Blu-ray won in the end.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
It was like a red disc.
Okay, yeah.
No. The red disc was a concept that companies tried to roll out. Where you would rent the disc and then it would
destroy itself.
The
after
disc
like 24
would self-destruct in a sense.
It was like something to do with oxygen. Once it touches the disc layer, it would like mess it up. I forgot what that was called.
Is that his brother?
Good peak voice acting.
Peak right there.
Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah. I don't know who that young person is working at the mixer. I'm assuming because he's playing the keyboard, that's George Stamatiades, but I don't know.
It probably.
Maybe.
Totally, this Tasmanian
He's
tiger.
a great composer. I love that dude.
Yeah.
You know, I only know 3 games he did. I love him for it.
But anyway, that is that. Excuse me, phone. Can I help you? Thank you. Right. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for watching our playthrough of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger HD. And once again, thank you to everyone at Chrome Studios for spending your time and efforts in remastering this Down Under classic. Here's to a genuine bright future for our favorite little orange rat. Seriously, I love this series to pieces. And you can see right there, framed in gold, there is the piece. There's me. There is me as a Tasmanian Tiger character. That was drawn by Steve. That was colored by Steve. And I love it to bits. It's one of my favorite possessions.
It's cool.
And, oh, by the way, do you two want, like, your signature on the bottom of the screen?
I'll definitely have
All right, cool. Well, it was just there they are. Cool. But yeah, I love like that picture right there of the me as a frill lizard. You can see that in the credits right now under the backer credits, and I love this piece so much because I told, and there was a backer survey where it's like, how do you want your character portrayed and all of that. I told them I'm a film editor at UCF, an aspiring film editor, so I would like to have my character editing a film. And Steve decided to be super cool about it, and I am editing the blockbuster new Hollywood hit Beerl and Squeever film, which is fantastic. I love that so much. And I cannot wait until he's finished with the Ty 2 pictures, because again, I backed for the same amount of money, like the same tier, so I'm going to be in the credits of Ty 2 as well, and you bet your sweet Bippy I'm doing Ty 3 as well.
Worth it.
Absolutely worth it. But again, thank you very much. Have you two any parting thoughts for the Ty 1?
Nothing.
I just gonna close out with thanks for making this awesome game, start of a great franchise, which I hope to see continue after all of the porting is done.
Ty 5.
Ty 5,
please.
please.
Ty 5.
And also maybe, physical copies of the games on current systems like PS4 or even PS5. I'll pay for them.
Yes, absolutely. And I have a personal stake in that because, like, I myself, Jacob of RetroTech Russo, am in the credits.
That is so
and
cool.
it's like I am prominently in the credits, like with all the other Chromium Uber backers. So it's like I have a personal stake in this. I would like for that to be immortalized physical media. That'd be fantastic.
Nothing but love for this game, for the studio, for all 3 of them, to be honest. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
All right, well,
they're great.
Thank you so much for watching. This is Jacob of RetroTech.
And Von Red 1.
Cooper Clan 13.
Signing off. Have yourselves a fantastic night and take care. And next time, we will see you in Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2.